the Tampa Bay Rays?
I hope they're good. It's going to be a good year. Let's keep the vibes up. Let's start it right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms that are available. And you can send us an email or voice memo anytime for a future mailbag episode, lockedonrays@gmail.com. All right, let's get into it. The New Year's resolution for the Tampa Bay Rays should be ... Ulises, what do you have drummed up for the Rays?
I went off the field. The field, and I said the resolution for this for the Rays in 2023 should be to put us all out of our misery and just tell us what the stadium situation is going to be. Enough.
Yeah.
Pitting the two sides against each other, St. Pete and Tampa. Enough from a billionaire saying that there's just not a lot of money to build a stadium. Enough of all of that. And I want it to be done. That's my New Year's resolution, is for the Rays to just come up to the podium and say that they're going to do it. Best case scenario, of course, will always be for that stadium to be in Hillsborough County in Tampa. I'm at the point where I don't care if you want to build the 86-acre thing, and it would be smarter for them financially to just keep it there in St. Pete, no matter if the attendance just doesn't move at all, but they can get some real estate money that way. Okay, whatever. But I just want a resolution, Kevin. Like I'm done. Like I've seen enough renderings. We've all seen enough renderings. We've all talked this topic to death.
Yeah.
Enough.
Right. So for your New Year's resolution, you want a literal resolution for the Rays Stadium. That is very fair.
Thank you. I went full pun there.
No, I like it. And I mean, it's a tired act. I mean, we don't like having to talk about it when the news comes out, when a new rendering comes out, or there's an update here, there, or someplace else. Like, it's something where I think we're all we've been beaten down and beat up with this issue time and time again. And I don't know if what the solution or resolution is for getting public financing, but if you want to, when I go to the Trop or I go to a spring training game, if you want to charge me an extra $1 for a beer, a hot dog, chicken sandwich to allocate towards that stadium fund, fine, so be it. Like I'm willing to put out some of my money to help build this thing. Now,
yeah,
the rest of the public, that remains to be seen.
I think most fans would say yes, like to that, But first, we would say, how about Stu puts up a little bit more money on his side? He's the billionaire. We're not. But I love the way that you said that. It's a tired act. And I also love the way that you said that we're tired of talking about it. We don't like talking about this. We don't. We really, really don't. Okay. We're not real estate moguls. We're not civil engineers. We do not like to talk about it. But we have to talk about it because it's part of the team. It's part of what this franchise is going through. And so when it needs to be talked about, we will talk about it. And if you don't like it, then, just don't tune in.
Don't listen to that episode, I guess.
Don't listen. Yeah, exactly. Then, you can skip it. You can maybe just like it and then get out of the video. But you have to talk about these things. But I'm done talking about it.
No, that's fair. I like that. I enjoy that. So my New Year's resolution for the Rays, and we will have some listener comments on this as well before we get to baseball trivia, Name That War. And it's maybe a little bit of a tired act as well, but stay healthier. in 2023. That is my resolution or advice to the Rays, whether it's nutrition, rest, workload management, stretching properly, better training techniques, finding less injury prone players, whatever it is. I need everybody, and in particular, the main protagonists, the stars, the standout players, the guys that we rely upon day in and day out to stay healthy, because that is something that did not happen in 2022, of course. In fact, there was a really good number statistic I saw here. Man, I can't think of the outlet that put this out, but the games missed by injured players in 2022, the Rays ranked 4th in all of baseball with 1,656 games lost to injury, behind just the Cincinnati Reds at 1,803, the Washington Nationals at 1,698, and the Chicago Cubs at 1,667. And those teams didn't do too hot in 2022. So it's pretty miraculous that the Rays were able to even win the 86 games and make the wild card appearance.
Exactly. I was just going to tell you that those are all teams that didn't have to do anything with playoff chase in 2022, and the Rays somehow got there. Obviously, I know that the 86 win total is low by
Rays standards.
Rays fans, exactly, by Rays standards, especially with the roster. But they got injured so much, and at the end, I mean, honestly, in September, Kevin Cash and company were just punting games, to try to keep everybody quote unquote healthy, and then basically they had guys who hadn't seen live pitching for the last 10 days, and then you expect them to just hit the ground running.
It's like a football team, a college football team. You're not playing for 3-4 weeks, and you expect them to be crisp. You expect them to be able to tackle like they should. Yeah. No, it's not going to happen. Too much rest doesn't do you too well in sports, or anything for that matter.
God,
typing up a paper is going to take longer. If you doing a podcast, if you haven't done one in weeks, is a little bit tougher.
Yes, everything, right? You have a routine. You have, again, you need some rest, especially, if you're getting hurt all the time. Okay, fine. But yeah, man, that's a trigger for me for the 2022 season. The way that they did the health, let's keep everybody off their feet, and
right.
The one thing, Kevin, that is always said about baseball, it's timing at the plate. Like, you need the reps. You can't just expect somebody to play on Monday and then doesn't see live pitching until Saturday to just be 100%. Like, that is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And it's like they just took all of that baseball 101 knowledge, threw it out the window, and forgot about that. Like, that's a baseball-ism. That's a baseball-ism. And they just completely threw that out the window and say, like, no, but they need health more. Like, I don't understand that. That's okay. We found my trigger. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a trigger.
Add that to the New Year's resolution as well. By the way, first, I do want to credit Randy Arozarena and Taylor Walls and Yandy Diaz for playing 153, 142, and 137 games respectively. But Manny Margot, you got to play more than 89 games. Wander, you got to play more than 83 games. Brandon Lau, you got to play more than 65 games. Kevin Kiermaier, no longer on the team, 63 games. Mike Zunino, obviously no longer on the team, 36 games. Pitching-wise, this past season, Shane Baz, 27 innings. JP Fireeisen, 24. Fairbanks, 24. Chagua, 22. Kittredge, 20. Patino, 20. Need more from everybody as far as that's concerned. And I actually went back and looked at this. The types of injuries that were experienced. I'm just going to run through these real quickly before we move on, just so people have an understanding. Tommy John surgery, strained back, lower back spasms, stress reaction in the lower back, COVID-19, Francisco Mejia, fractured elbow, loose bodies, strained groin, strained hamstring, sprained knee contusion, strained lat, strained neck, shoulder impingement. A ton of guys had various oblique and abdominal disruptions, flu-like symptoms, strained quad, hand surgery, Wander, I believe.
Yeah.
Or Harold Ramirez. Yeah, hamate. Lower leg tightness, thoracic outlet syndrome, hip surgery, triceps inflammation, triceps contusion, plantar fasciitis, and finally, undisclosed injury. There's the list.
Undisclosed injury.
I can't remember. That might have been Ryan Thompson. I can't remember.
Was that a
Somebody had an
parking lot?
undisclosed injury.
Maybe
Yeah.
undisclosed injury at a parking lot between
Black eye
two.
in a parking lot fight between Yandi and Randy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Man, that's a lot. That's a lot of strained. You said strained a lot in those 85
Yes.
seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Strained. But you know what? You won't have to say the word strained when you get yourself a Built Bar. And I'll tell you why. Because they are a delicious treat that doesn't give you the fat and calories that you are usually getting from a delicious treat. Okay. Let's talk about why it's delicious. They're covered in 100% real chocolate. I've told you this 1,000 times. It's made of real chocolate. It's delicious. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't need to wait around to get a box in this 2023. For years, we've been talking about ordering your Built Bars at built.com. Now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. So if you go to your Walmart or your Sam's Club, just go to the pharmacy section, grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, or double chocolate, or coconut puffs if you're a coconut lover. So again, today you can do that at both Walmart and Sam's Club. Get yourself a delicious treat that's going to be really healthy for you, like Built Bars are.
Yes. Built Bars, you can get those at Sam's Club or Walmart, and also some great people watching too. So usually what I do is I just buy a box of Built Bars, munch on those, sit on a bench outside, and just watch the traffic at the Walmart in Zephyr Hills. It's quite the sight.
Yes.
If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. All right. Let's, before we get into baseball trivia, name that war, the listeners chimed in on their New Year's resolutions for the Rays, and they are running through them. R. Hill says, stay healthy, improve base running, defense, and situational hitting. Improve base running. We didn't even mention that. That is a biggie for sure. Brian Stark says, hit them where they ain't. Yeah, that would be nice. There were some guys, I can't, maybe Randy was one of them, that lower BABIPs than there should be. So that might be something to take into account. Alex Mullen says, number 1, stay healthy. Number 2, produce more runs, which should happen if they stay healthy. Of course, there was a huge disparity and discrepancy between the offense in 2021 and 2022. Sure, a large part of it was in what was due to injuries and not having guys healthy, and just faltered production. I don't know what you're doing there, but if you want to explain, I don't know if you're doing.
I was giving you. I did it backwards first. 200 less runs, people.
Yeah, 200 less runs. I thought you were doing like 2020 or something. Wow.
No,
yeah,
200 runs less. That is not okay. And again, 200 runs less. Kevin, can you tell me what they have done to score more runs this 2023 than in 2022? Can you tell me that?
Hoping that Brandon Lau, Manny Margot, and Wander stay healthy, and that the rookies show progress, i.e. Josh Lowe and Vidal Brujan and some others.
So basically, hoping and wishing. That's been the hot stove offensively for the Rays thus far.
Yeah.
And it's been really exciting.
Score, win games, 3-2-2, 1-0, because they've added Zach Eflin.
But you've got to score. Like, your pitching is going to be great, but they are not going to be perfect. They're going to let in a run or two. Can you score 3 runs right now? Can they?
No.
Trigger.
Yeah. No, that for sure. That is true. Argenis Rashad says, score more than 4 runs a game and defend such lead better. Yes. Zach Dabb says, stay, period, healthy, period. Jake Stokes, score more runs. MLB Siradsky on Twitter says progression. If the youth on the 40-man takes that next step in development, all our problems would shift from not enough runs to not enough playing time. And then Chris Snyder says, still making the Yankees look silly. Yeah, that'd be nice as well.
That'd be nice.
Team with as big of a payroll as that and being able to win more games or advance further in the playoffs is definitely commendable and appreciated.
Remember, like around July-ish, when no Wander, no Margot, and no Bilal, and we talked about how like, oh, it seems like the front office is just hoping when they come back, they're just going to be awesome players and they're going to be really great offensively. It seems like the front office is basically doing the same thing in January 2023. They're like, well, we hope Brandon Lau and Wander and Margot are just going to be super healthy and they don't have to run into a wall or they don't have to run really hard to home and won't strain their hamstring or have back spasms. Like, that's what they're doing, hoping and wishing. And I get it. We know, because we know the Rays have been in conversations with all the free agents that we thought that they should be in contact with, and the numbers that they ended up, signing for these guys were way larger than what the Rays estimated. So, you like to say, Kevin, it takes two to tango. It takes two. I mean, you can't just, the Rays front office doesn't want anything. Like, no, they're talking to these guys, but the money is going elsewhere. And sometimes, we know this for a fact, they've either matched or gone above, and they haven't signed. And they haven't signed. People don't realize how much the reputation of playing at Tropicana Field and how it looks and what it is and the poor attendance, like, that matters.
It all adds up, yeah.
That matters to people. Like, if you were a professional, a professional at the highest level of your industry, would you take $15 million for a year playing where nobody is going to be clapping on a Tuesday night, or 13, 12 where people are going to be, clapping every night? The stadium is going to be full. Everybody, it's a baseball town. Like, I mean, it doesn't take much to figure out what players would want.
You probably have some players that contemplate that and they think, man, am I going not back to AAA, but AA? Like, there's AA ball clubs that have greater attendance and greater fanfare and enthusiasm on a Tuesday night. Now they've got different promotions and cheaper tickets, and maybe it's not, don't have to drive over the bridge to get to Chattanooga or wherever. But you get my point of, like, you feel like you're back in the minors when you're playing.
We've seen 5,000 and change attendance, and I don't want this to be like a chastising against the fandom, because it's honestly it's the ownership's fault. But I mean, would anybody listening and watching, would you show up if you were a baseball player? Where would you like to be playing? Again, with 40,000 people chanting your name and loving what you do, or 5,000 on a Tuesday night?
Right. Yeah. And going back, I know a lot of people have mentioned offense, and you mentioned scoring 200 fewer runs than in 2021. That is all true. And again, I don't think just getting healthy solves the equation, because Brandon Lau is never going to hit 39 home runs in a single season. You no longer have Austin Meadows on the roster. Mike Zunino isn't on this roster anymore, and he's not hitting 30+ homers and doing historical things versus left-handed pitchers. Like, that was everything basically going right, and multiple guys having career years offensively in 2021. I don't see that. I look, and I think just looking for some middle ground. You're not going. It's going to be a long, long time, if ever, where the Rays score, however many runs they scored in 2021 and an average nearly 5 runs a ball game, whatever it was, just
5.2 or something like that. It was over 5. Yeah.
But just some, split the difference between what you did in 2021 and 2022. And I think that just getting healthier with the same guys that you have right now doesn't get to that point. I don't even know if Brandon Lau, with the back issues and how long it's going to get him back to normal production. I'm still looking for that 25, 27 homer guy on this roster, and I don't see it.
If the idea is hoping and wishing for these three guys to come back, Wander Margot and Be Loud, to just be awesome and play 145 games each, and they're all, clicking on all cylinders. Like, if that's the thing, just one of them dropping off, you've seen what happens. Then now you're hoping and wishing Jonathan Aranda takes another step. Now you're hoping and wishing Josh Lowe takes another step. Now you're hoping and wishing Taylor Walls and Vidal Brujan do something offensively. That's why this hot stove has been so because now you know that there has been no additions whatsoever in the offensive part of the game. That if one of these guys that they're hoping and wishing are going to be playing 140 games and they're super productive, if they fail, if something happens, which is completely okay and normal because they're athletes and athletes get hurt, then what's the plan, man? You didn't go out there and finally close. I know, like I said earlier, they've been in contact and they've tried their best, but ultimately trying your best, being second doesn't matter in hot stove. You have to sign those guys.
Right.
You have to sign them.
Yeah.
And you haven't signed one. Not one.
Unless they hope and wish that Josh Lowe and Luke Raley can, each hit 22 to 25 bombs, but I don't think that's happening. So,
or that the pitching is just tremendous and just goes,
I mean, I think the pitching will be. I think that's kind of what they're banking on. If the starting rotation, the bullpen can stay relatively healthy, I think that's it's back to the old pitching and defense and very, very, very little offense. You're back to some of those really bad offensive teams where, Will Rhymes was getting at bats. I don't know.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, we saw what that was 2012 without Longo, basically for all of the summer and Will Rhymes getting at bats and saying, I'm Batman, my goodness, like we're back to that. We're back to that kind of offense where you have to put Reed Brignac, Elliot Johnson, and Sean Rodriguez back to back on a lineup card. Like we did that in 2022, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty having Taylor Walls, Vidal Brujan, and Josh Lowe back to back to back. It wasn't. So now again, it seems like the Rays front office is saying, hoping and wishing for more health, and everything's going to be fine. I don't think that cracks it, man. Like I don't, because now one of those guys get hurt. What do you do? Now you're hoping and wishing the Arandas and the Josh Lowe's and Vidal Brujans do something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And say Brandon Lau goes down again, like where's your power coming from? Because Manny Margot is not providing you power. Wander Franco, as of yet, he hasn't proved that he's showing you power. He can give you a lot of doubles. He's a great, great, great hitter. But as far as, hey, we need a 2-3 run shot to flip this game on its head, you don't really have that at this juncture, and that's what the game of baseball has become. So, yeah, this could be a season where, the Rays, they find a way to win 86 to 90 games, but they get shut out like in a dozen of their losses. Like that could, or more,
that could very well happen.
A couple no hitters, a perfect game gets thrown against them. I would not take that out of the realm of possibility.
I don't think so either. I think that could happen. Again, it's January, the first week of January, so a lot of things could happen, and we could be eating crow in 2 weeks. I hope so. Rays front office, make us eat crow. Make us like, oh man, they had that right under their sleeve. Oh, what a great trade. Oh, I want to do that. I want to. Yes. Crow's delicious. I'll put mayo on it. I'll put mayo on my crow, and I'll get some sides, and I'll make it a delicious meal. Do something.
You get Brian Reynolds. We'll eat all the crow that's out there. All right. Let's move along here. Baseball trivia. Name that war. My trivia question for you, Ulysses. From 1990 to 1999, I have in front of me the list of batting title winners from that time period, and there were 15 different individuals to do that. So 15 different individuals won batting titles between 1990 and 1999, either the American League or National League. I want you to name 5 of those batting title winners during that time frame.
Andrés Galarraga.
That would be Correct. He did it in 1993 with a cool 370 batting average playing for the Rockies.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn, very good choice, and you would be correct as he did it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times in the 1990s. Actually, 4 straight years, 1994 to 1997. He batted 394 in 1994, by the way. Just unbelievable. So, yes, Tony Gwynn is absolutely correct.
Shortened season, but 394 is ridiculous. Okay. I don't think he did this, but I'm going to try it anyway. Griffey?
Ken Griffey Jr. is not on this list. Strike one.
No, that was a dumb decision there. 90s hitters. Who was going head to head with Tony Gwynn at that time? Man. I'm blanking. Man, I'm going with, did he do this? Was he? Yeah, I'm going to go Todd Helton.
Todd Helton did not do it between 1990 to 1999. Strike two.
Damn. Did Barry did it? No, Barry couldn't. Barry, no way. I want to say names like Molitor and Yount, but I think that would be maybe too late for them, or maybe not. Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor, strike three.
Damn it!
I gotcha.
You did.
I struck you out. It's about time. It's been a while.
Damn.
And I think I liked where your head was at with some of these. Ken Griffey Jr. No, but he was teammates with
Edgar
players. Yeah. So I'll run through the other names. I'm not going to go through the year and the batting average and so forth, but just to give you an idea, you did get Andres Galarraga and Tony Gwynn correct. The other names: George Brett, Eddie Murray, Julio Franco, Terry Pendleton, Edgar Martinez, Gary Sheffield, John Olerud, Paul O'Neill, somebody named Alex Rodriguez, somebody named Frank Thomas, Bernie Williams, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and no, he's not Todd Helton, but he's very good in his own right. He's a Hall of Famer. Larry Walker.
I was going to say Larry Walker when I thought about Todd Helton. Damn. Oh, okay. That's a good list.
Yes.
We talked about John Olerud, I think, quite recently too, didn't we?
Yeah. 363 batting average in 1993 with the Toronto Blue Jays he had.
It's ridiculous. Good question. Really good question. I hope I do the same to you, but I don't think so because you're very familiar with this player. His trade tree has been stuff of legends. Can you tell me where this is? Name That War. If you've never seen this part of the show, it's where we take a player from the past and we try to guess his career war according to Baseball Reference. So today's non-active player is Delmon Young. What is Delmon Young's career war according to Baseball Reference?
Delmon Young. God, I want to say he's got his pension. And I want to say he probably hit like 120 homers in his career. I feel like his numbers weren't all that bad, all told. Probably didn't quite live up to the hype or the expectations. Oh, man. Who did he play for? Played for the Devil Rays, the Twins. Probably played for another 3 or 4 teams over the years. I'll actually be curious to see who has a higher WAR, whether it's going to be Tim Beckham or Delman Young at the end of their careers, respectively. But Delman Young, yeah.
Before you answer, I'm gonna give you a couple more seconds here to ponder.
Okay.
Mr. Hill, who I met at the Trop during this season, 2022, very nice. He told us that maybe we could do a switch unnamed that war sometimes and do exactly what you just said. Who has
the higher
WAR?
career WAR? Oh, I do like that.
Before this one and this one. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We should do it.
Yeah, we should absolutely incorporate that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Appreciate that tip. Yeah, I think we should try that next week for sure.
Yeah.
Delman Young, no way he got double-digit career WAR. I'm going to say 8.3.
And I was very surprised, but it makes sense that he didn't even reach 8 career WAR according to Baseball Reference. His career WAR is 3.2.
Wow.
3.2, and he played for 10 years. Okay, look at the slash line. 283, 316, 421. Comes out to a 737 OPS, 98 OPS plus, so just shy of league average. 109 home runs, 566 RBI. He was an ALCS MVP, which is pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's intense to look at what ultimately his career is not bad. I think, he was just projected to be much more than 3.2.
Right. When you're the first overall pick and the brother of Dimitri Young, and obviously I guess the base running and defense did him in. And you know what? It's a great point you make up about. I mean, well, you mentioned Delman Young as the name that WAR candidate, but really the Rays are at the point where like the average Delman Young season, that's kind of probably what they're looking to fill right now offensively. Like find somebody that can get you 16 home runs and a 260 batting average. 730 OPS.
I think a lot of fans would not have agreed with that statement in late October or early November, but now in January they're like, just get us something. Yeah, sure. Give us a 750 OPS guy. All right, fine. I'll sign wherever you want me to sign. Just sign somebody. Do something.
Yes.
Woof.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB Prospects podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.